The Women's Town Improvement Association is one of my favorite buildings in St. Pete. And I think it's really wonderful because it tells a great history as well. The Women's Town Improvement Association was started in 1901 for a group of upper middle class, mostly white women, or all white women, mostly upper middle class, who were really wanted to get things done. These were women that really wanted power in their society, but they had to wield their power obliquely. They couldn't go into politics. They couldn't be the CEO of a company, but they could get stuff done. But they got stuff done kind of in a backwards, roundabout way. They were incredibly powerful. They were often referred to as the meddling women. I'd love to be referred to as a meddling woman. I think that's great. But so they did a lot. They worked for juvenile justice reform. They worked for prison reform. They were really committed to the Audubon Society. In fact, Catherine Bell Tibbetts founded the Audubon Society here in St. Petersburg because the bird population had been completely decimated by ladies' hats. So these were really women that got things done. They built themselves a clubhouse. The clubhouse opened in 1914. Can you show a picture of the historic clubhouse? Yep, there we go. Great picture of the historic clubhouse you can see. Now we're gonna come back here a little bit and we can you send us live again? All right. You looking at it live? Nope. Is that it?
You're big, Emily, for the participants.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We can't. It's funny. We can't see it, but I have to just trust that we're doing a good job. Tell us if we're not focused right, because we really can't see very well. So the original portion of the building is back behind the original picture you saw. Can you see the arched windows? That's the 1914 Women's Town Improvement Association building. Below it, you'll see this fabulous Art Deco facade. So the Women's Town Improvement Association was here up until the 1930s, actually mid-1920s, when they moved out to Snell Isle. And then they sold the building. The first floor was turned into a cafeteria. The cafeteria wanted to modernize it. They wanted to use Art Deco style architecture, which was really popular at the time. But we don't have a lot of Art Deco architecture in St. Pete, because by the 1930s, St. Pete is pretty much built out. So if you think of really great Art Deco, you often think of Miami Beach, because that was really growing. But Art Deco is really the beginnings of modern architecture in America. It's use of geometric forms, often syncopated rhythms. So if you look, you can see these wonderful chevrons up above. You can see on either side these terrific flowers. The flowers up here are organic, but they're very stylized as well. So it's all about moving into modern design, modern idiom. So this great facade lasted until the 1960s, when it too became out of fashion. And so it was covered up with an aluminum facade. Can you show the historic aluminum facade picture real quick, Monica? There we go. You can see completely covered up for the coffee shop. It's modern now, you know, modern. Can you go back to live again? Make us big. There we go. So it's completely covered up and modern. In the late 1990s, Tim Clemens, a local architect and preservationist, realized there was something great under here. It was covered with this aluminum facade. And aluminum facades, although incredibly ugly, actually really protect your buildings. You only need a few holes to hang this aluminum facade. So he knew that. He pulled the aluminum facade off and found this fabulous building underneath. You can see the types of holes that they had to punch into the surface. You can see these small little, you know, they're not big. And it really allowed for this wonderful one to be open. Now, I love to compare it to the building next door. Unfortunately, I have to point out Club Lust. Nobody likes to point out Club Lust, but if you look carefully, this is an aluminum facade that has been covered with foam stucco. So if you look carefully up behind, I hope y'all can see right up there and behind, you can see the original facade underneath there. And then the aluminum facade that's hung over, and now stucco that's put on. So I would
Emily,
love, yeah.
Yes, we can. It's that silver lining, right, behind the gray?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, if only I was tall
Yeah,
enough.
that's
I
a good
could
video right there that Will has.
Okay, super. Oh, good. Okay. So y'all can see that under there. It's really fabulous. And we want someday nothing more than to pull off this just horrible facade and see the original facade that that is underneath. There's a little hole in this here that I just noticed the other day. Do you want to come? We'll just show that real quick. Here's a little hole right here with some of the tile as well, you can see. So someday, hopefully, this too will be restored and we'll have a great building here again. All right. We are going to move on to the two other buildings that I think are really in, oh gosh, what's that? Somebody just threw a beer at us.
Oh. Another reason that our participants are glad to be at home and not with you. Emily, I